Today, we're going to jump straight into a wildly frustrating reality for anyone who has ever put real effort into working out or eating right, but somehow just stayed completely stuck. I mean, you've been there, right? You put in the time, you show up day after day, but the mirror, it just doesn't seem to reflect the effort. Well, we are going to unpack exactly why that happens. Now, look at this staggering statistic. Only about 5% of people who train consistently actually see their bodies change the way they pictured. Meanwhile, you've got this massive 95% majority who are putting in genuine, real work, but they just hit a total brick wall. They're stuck. So the absolute most important question we can start with today is, which one are you? To figure this out, we're going to treat this explainer like a personal audit. We're going to ask 5 really honest questions looking at 5 distinct checkpoints to help you find out exactly why your progress might be stalled. And listen, it is absolutely crucial to evaluate yourself against all 5 of these checkpoints. You really need to focus on all of them to understand the full picture, because your specific leak, it could be hiding in literally any one of them. So here is our roadmap for today's audit. We're looking at 5 checkpoints. 1, training quality. 2, nutrition math. 3, recovery. 4, consistency. And 5, untracked snacking. Okay, let's dive into checkpoint 1, training quality. Purpose versus blind effort. Ask yourself honestly, are you training with a clear purpose, or are you mostly just racking up reps? Picture this, right? You're doing set after set, pushing until your arms are totally shot, leaving the floor literally covered in sweat. It for sure makes it look like you're crushing it. But here's the reality check. We so easily mix up effort with progress. Training harder does not automatically mean training smarter. Chasing more reps and thinking that volume alone is going to burn fat, that's a total trap. Moving fast and loose without real control just means you're moving. You aren't actually training. You simply do not need to do more volume. You need to make each rep harder to fake. Actually holding the position longer, slowing it down, and genuinely feeling the muscle work on a clean set of 5 is going to change your body far more than 50 careless reps ever could. Effort is great, obviously, but controlled, purposeful execution, that is what actually moved the needle. Moving right along to checkpoint 2, nutrition math, the clean food problem. Now, this one often stings a bit because the food on your plate probably looks perfectly clean. You know, chicken, rice, oats. But the real question is, do you actually know what you're eating, or are you mostly just guessing? See, most of what people call eating healthy is really just overeating clean food. It's not dirty, it's just way too much. Peanut butter doesn't measure itself. That tasty sauce didn't count its own calories. And olive oil, it isn't 0 just because it came out of a spray bottle. Fat loss was never about good food versus bad food. It is about totals. It's about actual math and being brutally honest with what's going in. If you actually try tracking your food for a week, even just roughly, I promise you, you'll be shocked. To put it into perspective, a seemingly healthy salad packed with greens and chicken can quietly cross 600 calories on the dressing alone. You simply do not know until you look at the math. All right, checkpoint 3, recovery. Real recovery versus just resting. There is a very real difference between the two. Think about your sleep for a second. Just one night of poor sleep can significantly spike your hunger. And if you string together a couple nights of bad sleep, your body actually goes on the defensive and starts holding onto fat far more stubbornly instead of releasing it. And then, oh man, there is this massive myth out there that staying sore means the workout is working. Let me be clear, it's not a badge of honor. It's actually closer to a warning sign. Recovery isn't just downtime. It is literally the only time your body actually rebuilds itself. If you are perpetually sore, you aren't recovering and you certainly aren't rebuilding. And the data totally backs this up. In a study of 175 elite athletes, researchers found they needed about 8.3 hours of sleep just to feel rested. But get this, they were only averaging 6.7 hours. If elite athletes are falling behind on recovery, there is a very good chance you are too. It proves you absolutely must treat sleep like it is an essential part of your training program, because it is. Let's look at checkpoint 4, consistency, the 3-week trap. This checkpoint is a bit different. It's less about what you do on a daily basis and much more about how long you actually stick to it. Honestly, ask yourself, have you ever stuck with one single approach past 3 weeks? Because this is where the vast majority of people quietly derail their own progress, despite doing literally everything right at the beginning. The trap looks exactly like this. Week 1, everything is completely dialed in. Clean food, solid training, real sleep. you feel great. But by week 2 or 3, it gets kind of boring or frustrating, or maybe it just feels way too slow. So what happens? You scrap it. You restart with a new plan, new rules, and a fresh, shiny app. Then another 3 weeks pass, and you get the exact same result. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that the plan didn't fail, it just never got enough time to work. Consistency isn't exciting, it's just what actually works. And that brings us to checkpoint 5, untracked snacking, the final leak. Even if you've totally crushed the other checkpoints, your training is purposeful, your meals are mathematically dialed in, your sleep is locked down, there is almost always one more leak. The untracked handful of almonds, the post-dinner nibble, the just one that magically turns into 8. You genuinely might not even remember doing it, but trust me, your body does. Snacking is where so much fat loss effort quietly dies. 1,000 untracked calories in front of a screen at night will completely undo a day of solid training and honest meals. Look, you don't need to be perfect, but you do need to stop pretending these moments don't count. So, let's add it all up. Look at your audit across all 5 of those checkpoints. If most of those landed as a solid yes for you, you're already doing the invisible work that puts you in the top 5%. But if a few of these checkpoints hit close to home, listen to me, that is not a failure. That is simply identifying your leak. And remember how I said you need to focus on all 5? That doesn't mean you need to fix all 5 at once to start seeing progress. Just follow these steps. Pick one leak, fix it, give it real time to work. That is genuinely how you move from the 95% into the 5%. You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just need to apply smart, targeted effort and stop pretending the little things like untracked sauces or missed hours of sleep don't count. Train smarter, not harder. And then actually give your smart plan the time it needs to change your body. So, looking honestly at your training, nutrition, recovery, consistency, and snacking, what is the single leak you are going to plug today? And more importantly, I want you to ask yourself, what is the psychological block that made you ignore that leak in the first place? Fix the mindset, fix the leak, and watch your body finally follow suit.